Hey, it's Valentina Vee, and today we will attempt to shoot one location with two different styles. We're gonna go from this to this and this. We're in Beam LA, which is an amazing industrial space in Los Angeles. And today we are using this bar standing set to take a look at night, interior, bar. What could that look like? It could look realistic. So it could be motivated by the practicals in the set. It could be motivated by outdoor light. Everything is something you would actually see in a bar. And the second look is going to be a little bit more avant-garde. It sort of reminds me of a music video or something you would see in Riverdale. Colors coming out of nowhere, not so much motivated, but something that still makes sense for the type of genre. All right, let's go, follow me. This is the set right here. Beyond these doors, a magical wonderland of, it's a bar. It's a bar, come on in. First, I kind of look around and see what are the compositions that I like, what am I gonna get in the frame, and then I start thinking about what are gonna be my angles based on how the subject is moving. In this case, our actress is going to be coming out of that door and then sitting down in this chair. So how do I shoot that with the most cinematic coverage possible? I like to look for leading lines in my image. If we put our camera over here, we can use this leading line here to frame her up perfectly. For master shots, I like to be as wide as possible without obviously hitting the edges of the set. In this case, I don't want to hit the top of the set. So we're going to go on a 35mm lens with the Canon C70 cinema camera and the Canon CNE primes. We also have a small rig rail system and matte box helping us out today, and the Ninja 5. This little kit is perfect for me because I can move it around. I can see what my composition is going to be before I decide to set my camera. In this case, I've decided, you know what? It's gonna be a moving master. So the camera is going to move the entire time during the shot. Sometimes locations have these amazing practical lights. In this case, we have these hanging bulbs, which are great, but if I want to get them in the shot, I'm very limited because I have to keep the camera up higher in order to not hit the top of the set, or I have to come to it from this angle, which is a little bit less cinematic for me. So unfortunately, I can't use those practical lights in my shot. I'm gonna be creating my own practicals to motivate my light. Right now I have the camera up on the Dana Dolly, but it's a little bit higher than I want it to be. I really want to get the edge of this bar in the frame. So we're gonna lower the entire Dana Dolly until the shot is perfect. I also really like using depth in my shots. So working with what's in the foreground, middle ground, and background. We're gonna put our subject in the middle ground, have our bartender in the foreground clearing the bar, and then we're gonna put a couple people in the background as well, just to fill out that shot. Now we've adjusted the dolly height and we can kind of start setting our shot and plan for what our lighting is going to be. We have the wonderful Tia here. She's gonna be playing our bar patron. So I can now go back and forth and sort of see what is going to be playing in frame and what isn't. Something I see immediately is that the top of this entire set is visible. The good thing is, since all the walls are painted black, it doesn't really matter. It's going to recede into darkness anyway and be black. Okay, so we're gonna roll on this take just with the current lighting because I wanna show you what it would look like if we didn't light anything. Tia in 3, 2, 1. Obviously, there were many things wrong with that shot, including the production design. So how do we make it better? Well, we have these booths over here that are not playing in our shot at all, so might as well use them. We'll put one booth over here and we'll put another booth over here because we'll see both of them. This light that's here is already perfect. We're gonna take another floor lamp over there. We can have this door closed. Monkey grass. Oh, yeah, that famous film. Then we're gonna just clean up the bar or make it messy, but the way that we want it. Set everything so that it looks good because for me, I like playing off the production design. A lot of the lighting is gonna be based on where exactly the table is located, where exactly the lamp is located. So we'll do that first and then we'll light it. The color temperature of this light is actually what we're gonna model all of the other color temperatures of all the other lightings off of, because this bulb we can't change. And actually it's a color temperature I already really like. It's just nice and warm and exactly what you would normally see in a bar. Take a look at that. It looks totally different now and it looks so good. Now I'm gonna start placing lights. First lights, practicals. Boom, the lights that we actually see in the shot. The next things after the practicals are the outside lights. Just think about it, if you're in a bar at night, the bar's probably on a street and the street probably has street lights. So whatever the color temperature of those street lights is gonna be the color temperature that's coming through the windows. It's mostly a very tungsten-y, maybe a sodium vapor kind of look that we're going for. I'm gonna set the 600D up right here on a combo stand outside the window. It'll imitate that outdoor light. I like having the barn doors because it gives me something to clamp the CTO onto. Striking. Yeah, it's a little pinker than I would like, so we could probably find some plus green and make it a little bit more matched. How does that look? I like it. It looks great. That's the perfect color temperature. Let's do the other outside light, which is our Nova panel over here. Striking. Let's go to light mode. Gel. Now I'm just gonna try to find the gel that I want in here. It's hard to tell because I'm in a hallway that also is lit and I'm not looking at it through my camera. So I think what I'll end up doing is just putting this on Bluetooth and then seeing it through my camera, adjusting it from behind my camera using Stylistic. I'm gonna raise it a little bit because I want it to be like a street light. And even though it is still a panel, it can still be directional. Now that our Nova is set, I'm gonna set my key light actually. So I wanna have a nice soft light coming from the front. And my idea, at least for now, let's hope it works, is to bounce light up into a beadboard. So we have this 300D2 that I've put on a pair of legs and put on barn doors, put on CTO. I have a duckbill or a platypus clamp here, and this is for our beadboard. I'm just gonna kind of hang it at an angle so that it hits our talent, but it's not necessarily hitting our bartender. Another reason that I'm bouncing this is because this is quite a wide shot and I don't want anything in the frame. So this way, the light is down and the actual light source is coming from above. All right. Bars tend to be moodier environments, right? It's not like a bright office. So how do you make something moody but also light it? Well, I think of it as pools of light and shadow. You see here, this is a pool of light, and then there's shadow, and then there's more shadow and more shadow, more shadow, until there's another pool of light. So we need something else here, especially if a person's gonna be sitting here doing something in the background. We need a key light for them or something to punch them out. We're gonna rig another 300D up top. Luckily, we have this landing over here so we can overlook the set, overlook our dominion, and arm out the light on a C-stand. And then I added that light dome mini to it with a grid. So the grid makes that light way more directional. And we just added a little bit of a skirt of duvetine because we wanted to knock it off the back wall, make sure that it's not spilling all over the wall. Of course, safety is paramount, so we have a sandbag to counterweight it. Striking. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Come see this. Just a little pool of light, not too much. Now that we've got our background lit up, our middle ground lit up with our key light, we also need to light our foreground. So that is dark right there, and then that is light, dark, light. So it actually adds a lot to the foreground. So do we have another C-stand to put this on? Mm-hmm. Perfect. It's these little subtle things that make a huge difference. There we go. Cool. Last but not least, what is a bar without pretending that everyone's smoking in it? So we have this Mystic Hazer from Master Effects. Are you ready? Okay. The haze is giving us a little bit more diffusion between the highlights and the shadows of the image, and it's giving us that old-timey, moody vibe of just like a very smoked out bar. Because I have a lot of haze in the bar, what happens is that any stream of light is gonna be picked up by that haze. It's useful for the Nova outside the door because it has that really nice column of light happening. But here, it's not as useful because the haze picks up on that beam of light that's bouncing into the beadboard. So I actually had to move this beadboard back a little bit more. When you're using a dolly, something that I like to do is I like to start shooting or start the movement before the usable part of the shot. All right, we're gonna go for the shot. What I also like about this shot is I'm using a wider lens, which creates a parallax between the foreground and the background. So especially if you have something right in front of the lens, like our bartender's hands, that parallax is just so beautiful. It creates such a cinematic look. All right, so that was your traditional realistic Hollywood look. And now let's just spice it up a little. So for this shot, we are seeing our character in a moving master. Again, this time instead of entering from the outside and sitting down, she's already sitting down. She gets up and starts playing the piano. This time, instead of dollying side to side, we're gonna be going forward and back. And we're gonna do this all in one shot with the power of reflection. So we'll start up close, not seeing the piano at all in the shot. And then as we pull back, we will see the piano emerge and she'll walk over and sit at it. So we have to light for three things. We have to light for the background, the reflection, we have to light for the wall, and we have to light our subject. I see what's being reflected in the actual mirror, and I like what I'm seeing already. We have a lot of the lights already set up. We just need to change them to colors. Right now, because we have that light bouncing from over there, it's just creating way too much spill on the mirror. So instead of picking up the reflection, what it's actually picking up is the dirt of the mirror, and we don't want that. We like the dirt, okay? We like it because it gives it grime, it gives it texture, but we don't want the dirt to detract from the actual shot. We have enough room to place that light dome. So I'm gonna need some hardcore gels for this because as you can see, color temperature blue, it's not quite blue, it's just a little bluer than daylight. So I need party gels. Yeah, that looks, that's the blue we want. Basically, instead of moving this big heavy light around to see what positioning works best for me, I'm using a really small light and I'm auditioning it against this mirror to see what direction I should light it from. Yeah. So that's what we'll do. We'll have a toppy light and then we'll put a practical lamp here. You want your C-stand leg, your tallest C-stand leg to be towards the weight, and that's where you want your sandbag to go. I know it seems counterintuitive, but that is going to prevent everything from falling. You also want your grip head to be on the right side of your stand because that way, if this starts tilting forward, it'll only ever tighten. Now I'm gonna change the color of the Nova. I'm actually just gonna leave it where it is. Before it was, oh, maybe this is light from outside, this is light from a street lamp. Now it could be, oh, maybe this is light from an adjacent room. I'm just gonna go to the color picker and choose something like a pink or a purple. And I can always adjust it when I look at my final image too. If you have light fixtures like this and you want them to have colored light, but maybe you don't have a B7C bulb to put in there, well, you can always just tape in an MC light. It's a pretty easy hack. Turn it on and it totally works as a light, right? I'm just gonna ping it at this art over here. And again, I can turn it any color I want and I'll determine the color after. So just like that one, now we can change this fixture to any color. So it's currently a nice warm color, but if we wanted to change it to say complement the blue and do a complementary color, we could do a purple. I want something else to play in the background and I want this idea of a window. So I have the spotlight mount, 36 degrees, and it has a gobo inside of it that looks like a window pattern. So when you put it in the gobo slot, it creates a window pattern on the wall. Taking a look at the shot, I decided it needed another little pop of light from the top. So he is rigging a mini 20 over here. That'll just give us that nice little directional pop, and we're gonna gel it with a purple gel so it nicely complements the blue top light. Now that we have this little hair light up here, I felt like this side of the wall was a little too dark and these details weren't being seen. So easy fix, just a quick MC light on the counter pointed at the wall. Bam, that's it. My entire thinking towards the lighting was I wanted something blue motivated from the window because that could be like moonlight coming from outside. Something that is complementary to moonlight is purple and pink. Hence, we have a blue key light, a purple hair light. We have a blue light off to the left and a purple practical light over here. Last light, I decided that she needs a little pop of a key light over here. I wanted it to be quite directional. The OG 120D from my personal collection. I have the reflector here. I have these barn doors that actually you can put a gel into. So I have a bunch of gels, and I think you'll see the theme of this episode is gels. If you have gels, you'll be well. As I pull back on the camera, I'm going to have to also tilt down in order to reframe the shot a little bit while also pulling focus with my right hand. So it's a multi-axis move. So wish me luck. Let's get this started. Okay, so that was a realistic setup and a little bit more of a styled setup. I have my things that I like to do as a filmmaker. I like to shoot wide, I like to shoot a moving, active camera, I like to have pools of light and an even composition. But what are some of the unique things that you like to do as a filmmaker in your shots? Let me know, I wanna hear about it for your chance to win an Aputure B7C, which is our new bulb LED light. If you enjoy this channel, then please give this video a like, and this is kind of a new format for us, so let us know if we're doing good, if you like the way that we are doing the walkthroughs. I want to hear from you. Until then, my name is Valentina Vee. My social media links are down below. Happy shooting.